Let's get recording started, and we will do the live later when it will work. Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna, Ajayji. Thank you so much, and hopefully Prabhuji will come, and Mataji is off at the moment because Mataji had the vaccination, so we will definitely miss Mataji's association today. Let's hope the rest of the things will work out well. So, Shri Īśopaniṣad, are we sharing? We're not sharing. Let's get sharing stuff. Hare Krishna. So, Shri Īśopaniṣad mantra 12 we are doing. And this is all due to the hard work which Srila Prabhupada put together. Let's do the Mangalacharan and then we shall resume the session. Oh. Ajnana-timirandhasya jnana-janashalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuda Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatha Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Mami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvya Evascha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachat Deshitarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev Maharaj ki jai, Jai Jai Shri Radhesha, Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone to our session today. These are Shri Īśopaniṣad sessions, and we are having completed Bhagavad Gita. We started Shri Īśopaniṣad, and this is the part of Bhakti Shastri course where we have 4 books: Bhagavad Gita, Shri Īśopaniṣad, then Nectar of Devotion and Nectar of Instruction. So we will move on to other scriptures, having completed Shri Īśopaniṣad, where we have 18 mantras and we are on 12th mantra. So 12th mantra itself, it says Andham Tama Pravishyanti Ye Asambhutam Upasate Tato Bhuya Ivate Tamo Ya Yu Sambhuta Yatam. So this verse itself, we have seen the translation as well. Those who are engaged in the worship of demigods, so that's the first part of it, demigods worship, enter into the darkest region of ignorance, and still more So do the worshippers of impersonal absolute. So those who worship demigods and those who worship impersonal absolute, they go in the darkness. So just from the translation, it will look like that we should not do demi worship and we should not do the worship of impersonal absolute. However, that's not the case, because we have understood from the previous examples which we have seen that it's not that the demigod worships will not be successful. If the intensity is true, well, the intensity is pure, the consciousness is true, then the devotees will able to get, because those demigods in between, they will take us to the next level, which is the bhakti. Otherwise, what's condemned in the scriptures is the demigod worship where we ask for material gains. But when we are looking for spiritual progress, then demigod worship is still doable. So हम जिस तरीके से देखते हैं कि देवी देवताओं की जो पूजा है, क्या वो हमें करनी चाहिए या नहीं करनी चाहिए। एक कर्म कांड होता है, जो कि कर्म कांड में हमारा सिर्फ एक ही मकसद होता है कि हमें ये कर्म, जो भी हम पूजा करेंगे, इस कर्म को करके, तो वो भक्ति के रूप में नहीं होती, वो सिर्फ एक कर्म होता है कि आहुति डालेंगे या देवी देवता को ये बलिदान देंगे, चाहे सेक्रीफाइस हम व्रत के रूप में रखें, या पहले जैसे होता था, अभी भी कुछ जगह होता है जानवर को काट के जानवर की बलि दे, इसी रूप में हम सेक्रीफाइस कर रहे हैं। तो दोनों चीजें होती हैं, पूजा करते हैं, राइट्स एंड रिचुअल्स, हम पूजा करते हैं और कुछ बलिदान देते हैं। तो ये दोनों चीजें जब साथ में होती हैं तो देवी देवता खुश होते हैं, देवी देवता को हमारी जो निष्ठा होती है उसका पता लगता है। लेकिन जब हम ये करते हैं तो इसके पीछे हमारा मकसद क्या होता है। अब जैसे नवरात्रे आएंगे, अभी गणेश चतुर्थी, शिवरात्रि, ये जब भी देवी देवताओं से रिलेटेड जो भी फेस्टिवल्स आते हैं, जो भी फंक्शंस आते हैं, क्या हमें करने चाहिए या नहीं करने चाहिए, इस मंत्र के हिसाब से देखें तो मंत्र 12 श्री ईशोपनिषद में कहते हैं कि नहीं करना चाहिए। लेकिन प्रभुपाद जी ने जिस तरीके से आगे समझाया है कि अगर हम इनको करते हैं और करते वक्त हमारी मनोकामना ये है कि हमें भक्ति मिले, तो देवी देवताओं का पूजन जो है वो बुरा नहीं है, क्योंकि वो पूजन से हम भक्ति ही मांग रहे हैं, हम कुछ मटेरियल गेन नहीं मांग रहे हैं। अगर मटेरियल गेन मांग रहे हैं तो फिर वो इतना अच्छा नहीं है, तो उस चीज को कंडेम किया गया है, फिर वो कर्म कांड के रूप में ही रहेगा, फिर वो भक्ति नहीं होगी। और हमें समझना होगा कि पूजा और भक्ति में क्या फर्क है। भगवान कृष्ण की मूर्ति के सामने भी कोई खड़ा होके आंखें बंद करके, तिलक लगा के, कंठी डाल के कोई भक्त खड़ा हो सकता है, और हो सकता है मन में अभी भी वो कोई वीकेंड पे लॉटरी खरीदी हो, उसको विन करने की प्रार्थना कर रहा हो, तो वो भक्ति नहीं है। और दूसरा भक्त बिल्कुल उसी वेशभूषा में वहीं पे हाथ जोड़ के भगवान के सामने खड़ा है, और हो सकता है ये कह रहा हो कि भगवान, मेरी भक्ति में जो ऑब्स्टिकल्स हैं, जो रुकावटें हैं, उनको प्लीज आप दूर करें, ताकि मैं भक्ति में आगे बढ़ पाऊं, ताकि मेरा चित्त जो है वो शुद्ध हो पाए, ताकि मेरे जो कर्म हैं वो मैं प्योर माइंड से, मन से कर पाऊं। तो हम देख सकते हैं कि बाहर से ऐसा लगेगा कि दोनों ही भक्त हैं, दोनों ही भक्ति कर रहे हैं, लेकिन एक एक तरीके से कर्म कांड है कि वो भगवान के सामने सिर्फ इसलिए सर झुका रहा है क्योंकि उसे कुछ चाहिए। तो इसलिए भक्त दूसरे भक्त को कभी भी देख के कंडेम नहीं करते, क्योंकि हमें नहीं मालूम कि उनके मन में क्या चल रहा है, किसी ने कोई चीज क्यों कही है, किस भावना से कही है, क्यों कोई इंसान कुछ कर रहा है, because there are so many different devotional service. So what we are doing, this is also devotional service. Someone is saying something, somewhere is listening something. This is devotional service. These are the first steps of devotional service. When we do the Shravanam, we hear. So hearing is the very first step. हम देखेंगे नव विद्या भक्ति आती है, जो प्रहलाद महाराज जी ने बताई, कि 9 स्टेप्स होते हैं, उसके अंदर जो पहला है वो 9 एक्चुअली स्टेप्स भी नहीं है, वो 9 प्रकार हैं। तो 9 प्रकारों से भक्ति की जा सकती है, किसी एक प्रकार से भी की जा सकती है, लेकिन जो सुनना है वो शायद सबसे ज्यादा इजी है सभी उसके अंदर कि और कुछ ना करें तो हमेशा भगवान के बारे में सुनते रहे। म्यूजिक पसंद है तो कीर्तन सुने, गाना गुनगुनाना पसंद है तो भगवान का कीर्तन भजन, इतने सारे वैष्णव भजन हैं जो कि हम देख सकते हैं। और क्योंकि हम वैदिक कल्चर से बिलोंग करते हैं, हम हिंदुस्तान से अगर अपने आप को भारतवर्ष से मानते हैं, तो हम देख सकते हैं कि हम कितने फॉर्चुनेट हैं कि कितने सारे फेस्टिवल्स आते हैं, और वो फेस्टिवल्स का एक तरीके से मकसद यही रहता है कि एन केन प्रकारेण, कि किसी भी प्रकार से हम भक्ति में लगे। हर मंथ ऐसा लगता है कि कोई फेस्टिवल है, स्पेशली अगस्त से अगर हम देखते हैं तो फेस्टिवल्स ही फेस्टिवल्स हैं, और हर फेस्टिवल में हमको स्पिरिचुअल होने का मौका मिलता है। अभी पीछे जब हम हमारे अभी नवरात्रे आएंगे, अभी पीछे जब पुरुषोत्तम मंथ गया, चतुर्मास हुए, उसके अंदर हम देखते हैं कि सिमिलर टाइमिंग रहता है जब मुसलमान, बुद्धिज्म, जैनिज्म, उनके अंदर भी सभी के सब स्पिरिचुअल होते हैं। तो वो एक समय माना जाता है कि स्पिरिचुअलिटी के लिए, भक्ति भाव के लिए बहुत अच्छा है। तो हमको ये सारी चीजें ध्यान रखनी चाहिए। जस्ट ऑन द फेस ऑफ इट, इफ वी विल सी दिस वर्स and we will say, oh, something is wrong, we should not do demi worship. No, the true understanding, and that's where the guru sadhu and shastra comes in. तो गुरु साधु और शास्त्र को अगर हम देखें तो हमें एक वर्स जो हम ऊपर ऊपर से पढ़ते हैं उसके पीछे का मतलब समझ में आता है। तो हमने बाकी सारे रेफरेंसेस देखे, श्रीमद् भगवत गीता के रेफरेंसेस देखे, 720, 721, 723, कि क्या भगवत गीता में भी भगवान ने इसी चीज को आगे समझाया हुआ है। तो हम ये सोचते हैं कि कैसे कि जो आचार्य हैं, शिला प्रभुपाद जी हैं, और उनसे पहले जो आचार्य हुए, वो कैसे समझ पाते हैं। वो इसलिए ही समझ पाते हैं क्योंकि हम सिर्फ एक पढ़ रहे हैं, उन्होंने बहुतों को पढ़ रखा होता है, बहुत सारे शास्त्र पढ़ रखे होते हैं। तो उनको समझ में आता है, अच्छा इसके बारे में यहाँ ये कहा है, उसके बारे में वो कहा है, और वो रेगुलर उसको पढ़ते रहते हैं। यही रेगुलर साधना जब हमारी रहती है, अभी हम एक क्लास एक हफ्ते में कर रहे हैं, हम अगर चाहें तो एक क्लास और कर सकते हैं जो श्रीमद् भागवतम के ऊपर हो। अगर हम ऐसा करना चाहें तो हम देख सकते हैं कि हमारा जो एफर्ट है वो डबल हो जाएगा। हम अब 2 क्लासेस करेंगे भगवान के बारे में, ज्यादा सुनने को, ज्यादा पढ़ने को, ज्यादा मनन करने को मिलेगा, क्योंकि ये नॉलेज हमारे डे टू डे लाइफ के अंदर आनी चाहिए। हम अपने लिए सोचें, हम पैसा कमाते हैं, हम भारतवर्ष से अगर इतनी दूर आए, पैसा कमा रहे हैं, कंफर्ट लिविंग में है, लेकिन ये सब होने के बाद भी अगर एक चीज मिसिंग है कि हम खुश नहीं हैं, अगर हम खुश नहीं हैं तो हम सोचेंगे कि ये सारी चीजें ही बेकार है। अगर हम सोच के देखें, if we think about it, maybe our sons, our daughters, our kids, they will grow up and they will become billionaires. They will have everything anyone could have on the planet, but they will give us a call and say, I'm not happy. What we will think? What we will think? Somebody might, like myself, might say, give away. You have billions, give away millions. And see, instead of billionaire, you might become millionaire. And there are many more examples. For example, J.K. Rowling, not even a spiritual. But oh, let's say she's spiritual in her own rights. And she said, more I give. And well, Microsoft founder Bill Gates, he said it as well. Steve Jobs had said it. More I give away, more happier I become. And I always thought that more I earn, more happier I will become. But that's not true. Of course, we only realize it when we earn that much. Because we don't know. जब हम दूसरों को देखते हैं कि वो कमा रहे हैं तो हमें लगता है कि वो खुशी होंगे। जब हम कमाते हैं तब हमें पता लगता है कि नहीं यार, बात तो सही है, इससे खुशी नहीं आती। एंड इफ यू थिंक अबाउट इट, मनी इन इटसेल्फ कैन नॉट गिव हैप्पीनेस। जो पैसा है, पैसा, डॉलर, पाउंड, वो उसमें तो कोई खुशी नहीं है। अगर आपके हाथ में कोई 1 पाउंड, $1, ₹1 रख दे तो उससे तो कोई खुशी नहीं मिलेगी। उस पैसे से, उस मनी से जो परचेजिंग पावर आती है, खुशी उससे मिलती है। अब हम बड़ा घर खरीद सकते हैं, गाड़ी खरीद सकते हैं, एक्सपेंसिव टॉयज खरीद सकते हैं, आईफोन खरीद सकते हैं, एक्सपेंसिव हॉलीडेज पे जा सकते हैं, उससे खुशी मिलती है। लेकिन फिर हम सोचते हैं कि ये सारी चीजें तो हमने कर ली, फिर भी क्यों दुख है? तो चैतन्य चरण प्रभु जी एक बहुत अच्छा एग्जाम्पल देते हैं कि माने हमने दुनिया की सारे सुख सुविधा उपलब्ध कर ली है, सारी सुख सुविधा। तो हम इंद्रियां भोग के हिसाब से देखें तो हम एक बहुत अच्छा आलीशान घर में हैं, एक बहुत अच्छा कंफर्टेबल बेड है या सोफा है, आसपास हमारे अप्सराएं हैं, और हमको खाने के लिए सबसे अच्छा कपड़ा मिल रहा है, देखने के लिए जो हम देखना चाहते हैं वो देख रहे हैं, हमारे आसपास नौकर चाकर हैं, हमारे पैर दबा रहे हैं, हम आराम से लेटे हैं, बहुत अच्छी ट्रीटमेंट्स हो रही हैं हमारी बॉडी के ऊपर। तो खाने का, जो बॉडी को कपड़े टच कर रहे हैं, वो जो हम देख रहे हैं, वो जो नाक से सूंघ रहे हैं, वो सारी की सारी इंद्रियां जो बेस्ट अनुभव कर सकती हैं वो कर रही हैं। एंड लेट्स से ये अनुभव हमारा पिछले 2 घंटे से चल रहा है। अब दो चीजें अगर हम सोचें, पहली चीज, 2 घंटे, 3 घंटे, 4 घंटे, 5 घंटे, थोड़ी देर के अंदर ये अनुभव से जो हमको खुशी मिल रही है वो धीरे धीरे कम हो जाएगी। ट्रू, वेरी ट्रू। चाहे जितनी मर्जी अच्छी चीज हमने पहनी हो, कितनी अच्छी स्मेल आ रही हो, कोई अच्छी चीज पहनी है, थोड़े टाइम के बाद हमें उसे धोने देना पड़ेगा। कोई अच्छी स्मेल आ रही है तो वो स्मेल जो है वो खत्म हो जाती है। वो स्मेल है, लेकिन अब हमारी जो सेंसेस हैं वो उसके यूज टू हो जाते हैं। इसलिए वाइन टेस्टिंग के अंदर और परफ्यूम के अंदर, जब हम परफ्यूम टेस्टिंग करने जाते हैं, परफ्यूम जब हमको लगाते हैं तो उसके बीच में हमको कॉफी संगाते हैं। क्यों? क्योंकि हमारे सेंसेस को रीसेट किया जाए ताकि दोबारा से परफ्यूम की स्मेल हम ले पाए। इसका मतलब हम जो भी चीज, जो भी भोग करेंगे वो टेम्परेरी है, ऑटोमेटिकली रीसेट हो जाएगा। वो हमें रीसेट करने की जरूरत पड़ेगी, वो ऑटोमेटिकली उसका असर चला जाएगा। जो चीज हम खा रहे हैं उसका स्वाद खत्म हो जाएगा थोड़ी देर में, रसगुल्ले हों, जो भी चीज हमें पसंद है, थोड़े टाइम में वो उसका स्वाद खत्म होगा ही होगा। जो भी चीज हम वॉच कर रहे हैं, थोड़ी देर में हम कहेंगे हटाओ, हो गया, बहुत देर से वॉच कर रहे हैं। किसी भी चीज को अगर हम देखें, ये पहली चीज, कि अगर कोई और बाहर से चीज ना भी आए तो इन सब का रस ऑटोमेटिकली चला जाएगा। तो इससे हमें ये तो पता लगता है, इफ वी आर वाइस इनफ, that all these things, they have temporary benefit, temporary happiness we will get for sure, but it's temporary. Yes, that temporary could be for a day, that temporary could be for a year, for could be for years. When our children are there with us, when the wife and husbands are there with us, it could be what we say lifetime. But what do we mean lifetime? 30 years, 40 years, 60 years? Not more than that. Somebody is going to stay with us. Either we will leave them or they will leave us. And that's the first thing. Whenever the attachment will break, we will feel bad. We will feel remorse. Even though we're still earning more, we still have all the sense gratification items around, but still attachment will go and we will feel bad. First thing. And second, जो चैतन्य चरण प्रभु जी कहते हैं कि ऐसी स्थिति में, ऐसे सर्कमस्टेंसेस में जब कोई बैठा है, वहां पे जब उसको खाने को अच्छा मिल रहा है, सूंघने को अच्छी स्मेल है, बॉडी पे बहुत अच्छे कपड़े हैं, देख रहा है जो पसंद है, और नौकर चाकर आसपास हैं, सब बेस्ट जो मनी खरीद सकती है या हो सकता है। और हम देखें तो यूजुअली बॉडी के साथ ही हो सकता है। फैमिली में भी सब सब मेंटली भी हम अच्छे, बॉडी माइंड एंड सोल हम कहते हैं, सब अच्छा चल रहा है। उस टाइम पे कोई छोटी सी एक पिन, फॉर एग्जांपल सेफ्टी पिन, हमको हमारे पैर की छोटी सी उंगली के अंदर हल्का सा चुभा दे, हल्का सा। तो पहला हमने देखा कि अगर कोई बाहर से एक्सटर्नल फोर्स ना भी आए तो ऑटोमेटिकली इन सबका असर खत्म हो जाएगा। दूसरा, वो हल्का सा जब टच आएगा, सब खत्म। अब हमको क्योंकि वो छोटी सी प्रिक से दर्द इतना हो रहा है, हम जो वॉच कर रहे हैं उसमें मजा नहीं आ रहा है, नौकर जाकर जो पैर दबा रहे हैं हम कहेंगे हटो, दर्द इतना हो रहा है। इमेजिन अगर हमारे लेफ्ट लेग में पेन हो रहा है और राइट लेग कोई दबा रहा है, हम क्या कहेंगे? सबसे पहले कहेंगे उसे रोको भाई। हमें जो खा रहे हैं, पी रहे हैं, देख रहे हैं, सूंघ रहे हैं, उसमें कोई, तो भगवान ने सृष्टि इस तरीके से बनाई है, इसलिए इसको हम दुखालय कहते हैं। जितनी मर्जी हम सुविधाएं कर लें टेम्परेरी कंफर्ट के लिए, लेकिन एट द एंड ये दुखालय ही है। ये पूरी स्टोरी का मॉरल। सो इफ वी अंडरस्टैंड दैट, what we should do, we should try to get out of it. So all the spiritualities, all different angles, all different religions, they will just say one thing, that this is not the place for us. Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, or within Hinduism, if we see Adi Shankaracharya ji will say the same, whether the philosophy is different. They even कर्म कांड, अगर हम कर्म कांड भी देखते हैं तो कर्म कांड भी ये कहता है कि जो कर्म कांड में सबसे अच्छा है, हम जो 4 पुरुषार्थ कहते हैं, अर्थ काम धर्म, अर्थ काम मोक्ष, तो मोक्ष सबसे अच्छा माना जाता है। तो आप जितने धर्म के काम करोगे, जितने अच्छे कर्म करोगे, जितनी डिजायर्स, काम, लोभ को एंजॉय करोगे, एट द एंड आपको मोक्ष मिलना चाहिए, तभी आपका जीवन सक्सेसफुल है। और वो मोक्ष जो है वो काफी हद तक लोग सिर्फ स्वर्ग तक जाने को मोक्ष मानते हैं। हाँ? अगर हम ये वर्ष भी देखें, ते तमहा भुक्त्वा सर्वलोकम विशालम, when they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasures। तो हम जो यहाँ पे हमारी छोटी सी लाइफ है, हम इंद्र को देखें, उनकी कितनी बड़ी लाइफ होती है हमारे कंपैरिजन में। अगर याद है तो हमने लाइफ ऑफ ब्रह्मा डिस्कस की थी, तो उसमें ब्रह्मा जी का जो प्लैनेट है और जो इंद्र का प्लैनेट है वो हमसे बहुत अच्छा है। तो वहां के भी सेंस प्लेजर्स अगर हम ले लें तो वो भी खत्म होंगे। तो हमारे यहाँ के तो हमें मालूम ही है, जरा सा खाना ज्यादा खा लें तो पेट में दर्द होने लगता है। छोटे छोटे बच्चों को आजकल चश्मा, हियरिंग एड्स लगनी शुरू हो गई। तो हमें क्या करना चाहिए? खुद भी ये करना चाहिए, अपने फैमिली मेंबर्स, रिश्तेदार, फ्रेंड्स, सबको हमको इस चीज के लिए प्रेरित करना चाहिए कि हम स्पिरिचुअलिटी में आगे जाएं, भौतिक संसार में रहते रहते अपने आप को आध्यात्मिक संसार के लिए रेडी करें, जो कि आएगा ही आएगा। इन अ सेंस कि हम मृत्यु तक जाएंगे ही जाएंगे। तो ये ऐसी चीज है जो कि हम इस भौतिक संसार में कुछ भी अचीव कर लें, मनी, पावर, फेम, कुछ भी, मृत्यु तो होगी होगी। और मृत्यु के बाद क्या होगा? अगर हम भगवत गीता को सच माने तो भगवत गीता में साफ लिखा है कि मटेरियली कोई चीज हम ले नहीं पाएंगे, और स्पिरिचुअली जो भी गेन है, जो भी हमारी उपलब्धि है, वो उसका क्षण भी भंगुर नहीं होगा, वो हमारे साथ ही जाएगी। और अगले जन्म में हम वहीं से शुरू करेंगे। अगर हम देखें भगवत गीता चैप्टर 6 वर्स 34 के अंदर, भगवान से अर्जुन कहते हैं कि ये माइंड कंट्रोल नहीं होता। फिर नेक्स्ट वर्स में भगवान कहते हैं अगर प्रैक्टिस करोगे तो हो जाएगा, प्रैक्टिस करो, प्रैक्टिस करने से हो जाएगा। लेकिन फिर अर्जुन पूछते हैं 6:36 में आते हैं कि जो लोग ऐसा नहीं कर पाते उनका क्या होता है? तब भगवान ये कहते हैं जो जहां तक भी कर पाता है अध्यात्म के अंदर प्रगति, जहां तक भी कर सकता है, काम, क्रोध, मद मत्सर, लोभ, सभी नहीं अलग हो पाते, लेकिन कुछ पे, माने 6-8 और डिटेल्स में हम जा सकते हैं। कुछ चीजों पे हमारा काबू आ गया, कुछ पे काबू नहीं आया। काफी लोग कहते हैं पहले मुझे बड़ा गुस्सा आता था, अब इतना नहीं है। पहले मेरे अंदर बहुत डिजायर थी, अब इतनी नहीं है। पहले पहले मेरे अंदर काम भावनाएं बहुत थी, अब इतनी नहीं है। धीरे धीरे तो शरीर के हिसाब से ही इंद्रियां कम हो जाती हैं, लेकिन फिर भी इंसान ऐसा मान सकता है कि हाँ, हमारी इच्छाएं ही कम हो गई हैं। भक्ति में हम देखते हैं ये प्रोसेस बहुत स्पीड अप हो जाता है। कोई इंसान भक्ति में नहीं है तो 20 साल की उम्र में जो इंद्रियां भोग करने की इच्छा थी, 60 साल तक वो ऑटोमेटिकली कम हो जाएंगी, लेकिन कम होंगी। और अगर कोई भक्ति में लगता है तो 20 से 30 की उम्र तक या 40 की उम्र तक ही वो कम हो सकती है। कोई 30 के अंदर भक्ति में आया, 35 40 तक ही कम हो जाएंगी, जो 60 तक होती। और सिर्फ कम ही नहीं होंगी, धीरे 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 अन्य अभिलाषिता शून्यम, ये हम श्री रूप गोस्वामी जी ने जो नेक्टर ऑफ डिवोशन ग्रंथ है उसके अंदर है कि क्या क्या स्टेट है वो कॉन्शियसनेस की। जो अर्जुन पूछते हैं कि कैसे होते हैं ऐसे लोग, भगवान कहते हैं अन्य अभिलाषिता शून्यम ज्ञान कर्माधिनावृतम, उनके मन में और कुछ है ही नहीं भगवान के अलावा। वो उनसे आप कुछ बात करेंगे, कुछ खाने की बात करेंगे, कुछ पहनने की, कुछ देखने की, वो सब भगवान से ही रिलेटेड होगा। और हमने बहुत सारे एग्जाम्पल अपने संतों के अंदर देखे हैं, पुराने जो संत हुए हैं, और अभी भी हम देखेंगे। अगर हम, क्योंकि इस्कॉन संस्था से जुड़े हैं, और भी ऐसी संस्था हो सकती हैं, लेकिन इस इस्कॉन संस्था के हम एग्जाम्पल ले सकते हैं हिज होलीनेस राधानाथ स्वामी जी महाराज जी से, हिज होलीनेस जयप्रताप स्वामी जी गुरु महाराज जी से। जब भी मुलाकात होती है, जब भी उनके कोई लेक्चर सुनते हैं, कभी सुना ही नहीं कोई मटीरियली कोई बात हो। और सिर्फ वही नहीं, उनके साथ में जो लोग रहते हैं, कभी भी ऐसा नहीं हुआ कि कोई मटेरियल बात हो रही हो। अगर डोनेशन इकट्ठा करने की बात हो रही है, तो वो भी क्योंकि टेम्पल बनाना है, या जैसे लंदन में हम फूड फॉर लाइफ है, तो जैसे कोविड टाइम में भी और वैसे भी स्कूल के अंदर या कहीं पे जहाँ पे किसी को प्रसाद दे सकें, उसके अंदर हमारी कोशिश हो रही है। एंड सो गुड टू सी दैट अनिल प्रभु जी इज जॉइनिंग. So this is what it is, that we should always and always remember that. Always remember that. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam. So good to have you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Sorry, I
No worries.
apologies for the late joining.
No, Prabhuji. I knew. तो हमें पता है कि लास्ट वीक आई थिंक हमने शायद मीटिंग लिंक चेंज किया उसकी वजह से, लेकिन यही मीटिंग
हाँ
लिंक है, यही
हाँ
रहेगा। ये हमने अब दूसरा सेशन जो हमने पे कर लिया है, तो अब
हाँ,
ये हमको ब्रेक करने की जरूरत नहीं है, और गोइंग फॉरवर्ड हम इसी को कंटिन्यू रखेंगे। तो प्लीज आप इसको सेव कर सकते हैं कहीं
बिल्कुल।
ना, अदरवाइज
हाँ हाँ,
टाइनी यूआरएल वीपी गोविंद दास, तो सिंपल
या
है ना प्रभु जी। तो बहुत अच्छा प्रभु जी, और नो नो वरीज,
जी
हम
जी।
वीकेंड है, फैमिली कमिटमेंट्स होती हैं, तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं प्रभु जी। जब भी आपका एसोसिएशन मिलती है, संडे मिलता है, तो बहुत अच्छा लगता है। सो थैंक यू सो मच प्रभु जी।
या
हरी
श्योर प्रभु जी। नहीं नहीं, कोई कमिटमेंट तो नहीं होती है सैटरडे को,
हरी बोल,
डेफिनेटली नॉट।
हरी बोल, हरी बोल,
This is most important commitment, प्रभु जी,
हरे
and you're taking off so much time. It's really our good fortune, प्रभु जी।
हरी बोल
हरे
प्रभु जी।
कृष्णा।
It's Hare Krishna. It's a blessing for me, I would say. I mean, even if no one will turn up, I would still love to come, because it's so much purified. And I have Aryan next to me. Shivani had a class, so I've said to kids that you also come along, because the kids are growing up now. So
या
they
या
should also come, and they are going to pitch. So of course we can include Jay. Ishan is
यस
doing Ajay Prabhuji's son is Ishan, so Ishan is doing
या
PSC now, so he might be busy for a while. But it's always good to engage
या
kids, right? As Srila
यस
Prabhupada
या
said it. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. And Hare Krishna, Mataji is here, I think. Thank you so much for your presence, Mataji. It will be great to hear from you whenever you would like to pitch in. Otherwise, we are doing Shri Īśopaniṣad. And as we know, there are 18 verses. We are on 12th verse. And we are doing Chaitanya Charan Prabhuji's presentations. And then we are going to move to Radhe Shyam Prabhuji's presentation very soon. So just on one. So just to summarize what we have been discussing so far. So there are two. So in mantra 12, so mantra 12 is the beginning of the theme for mantra 12, 13, and 14, that how we should worship. We have seen mantra 9, 10, and 11, which is the true understanding of the knowledge, how we should learn, what kind of knowledge is good, what kind of knowledge is a wrong knowledge. And now, based on that correct knowledge, how we should worship and what kind of worship is not or might not be the best worship. So mantra 12th is the first one in the series of 12th, 13th, and 14th. So in 12th verse, there are two things which are mentioned. One is on demigods worship. And just to summarize, maybe in a couple of sentences, that it's not that the demigod worship is wrong, but the intentions we have while worshiping. So if the intentions are material gains, yes, it's wrong. If the intentions are to progress further in spiritual path, then that is not condemned. That demigod worship is not condemned. It's a good worship, and we could do it, and we should do it, because there are so many of those. They keep inspiring us, because they all the demigods, they are great devotees of the Lord, and their own examples, and their devotees, their disciples, they are great as well. So we should always engage ourselves in there. So that's the demigod worship. Not bad, but our intensity, our consciousness, that's what matters. Now moving on to Mayavad, very similar thing in Mayavad. What Chaitanya Charan Prabhuji said, that the original Mayavad was still not bad what Adi Shankaracharya ji introduced. It was very good at that time. And it was required at that time, because after Karma Kanda, Buddhism was there and people were leaving Vedanta, leaving Vedas. So Adi Shankaracharya ji came and he emphasized that why we should follow Vedas. And because Buddhism is Shunyavad, which says nothing is there. Nothing. No God, no Atma, nothing whatsoever. It's called Shunyavad. Hence, from zero moving to positive, Adi Shankaracharya ji said, Advaita. There is one God, right? So we should always focus. And then, of course, he backed up with Vedanta, all the scriptural references from Vedas. But moving on, we got Ramanujacharya ji, Madhvacharya ji, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ji, that we should go into detail in Bhakti movement. Now, what Chaitanya Charan Prabhuji in this slide is trying to explain, that modern Mayavad is very dangerous. So Adi Shankaracharya ji's Mayavad had a purpose, and that it all started. And we will not go much in detail in this one, because we will move on. We did discuss this last time, that grains of impersonalism drawn from Upanishad. So he actually, being a spiritual scientist and very linguistic, he plays around with words. And he said modern Mayavad is a hodgepodge khichdi, which is like it's mixed with many things. It's not a true thing. What is true? The grains are true. What is the main thing in the khichdi? The grains. They said grains are true, because grains come from Upanishads. So the pure impersonalism is there in Upanishad. And that's so true, because all the Upanishads, they talk about Brahman realization. But then he said, when Christians came, and this is before independence movement, when Christians came, they started doing social service. And they said, see, you all Hindus, you are, because religion was so prominent, everybody was religious. He said that, but think about it, you all Indians, Hindus, even though these words were not there, Indians, Hindus, they introduced these words. And they said, you don't, there are different people following different things. And what benefits you get out of it? So what they said, let's work on social service. And then Christianity, of course, because social service, Christianity itself, and I know these sessions are getting recorded and publicly available on YouTube. So no offense to anyone, but Christianity itself doesn't have a lot of philosophy behind compared to what we have in Vedanta. So I'm saying this with all the due respect. I've discussed this with Christians, some of the great Christian friends I have who goes to church every Sundays, some of the questions I have asked, they said it's not there. And I had respect for it. They said, yeah, we have that limit. We don't discuss those kind of things. But then I said, don't you think it's important? They said, it's very important. And then they started asking questions. And when I provided the answers from our scriptures, they were surprised and they said, it's beautiful. And we should have that. And I say, that's what I'm saying. So a lot of philosophy, it's not there because the philosophy is not there. And if you think about it, Indian philosophy, the Vedic philosophy was so rich. When the Christians came in, they could not beat that philosophy which was there with their philosophy. So they said we have to do something else. Of course, the motive was to spread Christianity. So what they did, they started doing social service because, of course, India obviously was going before Christians, Arabs came, and the state was very bad. So they started putting a lot of money and started doing a lot of social service. And then what happened? They said, and then this is the time where Bengalis got into, because Bengalis were very, well, even now, Bengalis were high intellect, and a lot of people, they put together something called, the way it says that we should, because different organizations, they have different phrases, and I don't want to be in trouble, so I don't want to use their terms which they use the tagline all the time. But a lot of organizations, and they have the pure motive being social service. They say we should help the people. So what's the point of going in the temple? We go in the temple, pray to the Lord. But compared to that, if you go to a poor man and give something to drink and eat, that's better, right? So Nar Seva is Narayan Seva. You help the Nar is the human beings, and then you're helping Narayan. The Krishna will become happy, Narayan will become happy. And that's how they usually do. So social service, we got from, of course, social service was there in Vedic culture anyways. It was the part of Kshatriyas. Kshatriyas used to be the protectors. So when Parikshit Maharaj was there, when Amrish Maharaj was there, when Yudhishthir was there, all of them were doing it. And if it take a bit modern, even though the mention of Chanakya is also there in the scriptures, when Chanakya came up, he added another sector for social service. That Chandragupta Maurya will not able to success until unless he will tap into that social service. So I know we are doing religious studies, but it's very important to understand when different people come from different background, so we can respect them. So that social service of from Mayavadis, modern Mayavadis, they got this social service perspective, and a lot of social service happens, which is good. But now think about it, where it went wrong. And this is what Chaitanya Charan Prabhuji is saying, that Adi Shankaracharyaji's Mayavad was still okay periodically at that time. But what happened later on? What happened later on? That now, initially, some of the followers, they said, what's the point of going in the temple at the front of this? Because the Mayavadis, they usually don't pray to the Lord. They can, again, Adi Shankaracharya, somebody asked Adi Shankaracharya ji, so you said you are Advaita, what do you do? Do you go to the temple? Do you take snan in Ganga? And do you do chanting? Do you do that? And Adi Shankaracharya ji, very famously in Hindi, he said, हाँ बाबा हाँ हम ये सब करते हैं. So that, yes, we follow all those rites and rituals as well. So this is, I heard it from somewhere. But the point is that later on, first of all, the followers of Mayavad, they said, in the temple, what's the point? Go and do this. But then they started saying that it's, first of all, they equated that going to the temple, praying to the Lord is equal to helping a poor person. But later on, they said, actually, of course, the followers of those who said the first thing, they said, because of course, they only focus now on social service. They are not doing this, not going to the temple anymore. They're just doing this. And what happened? They said that actually not that it's equal. This is actually better. doing social service is better, which means their followers, they stop going to the temple. Right? So Adi Shankaracharya ji said, yes, we also do that. But now the followers, they stop doing that and they only focus on social service. And that's where it went wrong. Then they started condemning. Remember, we discussed between Mayavad and Brahmavadis. So Brahmavadi says we are attracted towards impersonal. No problem. We are attracted towards there. But Mayavadi said not only we are attracted towards impersonal, personal is wrong. So there are two different things. Right? So they are route left and route right. So somebody will say, I just want to take left. The other person will say, I will also take left, but because I'm taking left, I know right is wrong. The first person didn't say that right is wrong. And this is the difference between the first one is Brahmavadi, the second one is Mayavadi. Now, why we do need to understand this? Because in our life, we will meet people from these philosophies. And when we read scriptures, we will hear about these. For example, this verse, it mentions about demigod worship. So we should understand what it means. And then it mentions about impersonal Brahman realization. We should understand. Not that all those people who are doing that is wrong. But yes, there could be some followers whose mentality could be a bit distorted. Right? And again, coming from devotion background, we will only have compassion for them. Only compassion, no hatred, no jealousy, no supremacy that, oh, I understand that, look at you. Why don't you understand it? No, only compassion. Hey Krishna, hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu. Hey Krishna, please, please. So then, well, I did say we would like to move on very quickly on this. A spice of nationalism was added when the independence started. So, of course, for independent movement, everybody wanted to come together. And then they said, but the people were split into demigod worships. So those who worship Durga ji, those who worship Shiv ji, those who worship Ganesha, those who worship Kartikeya, they all were separate. They said, how about this? We introduced Mayavadi and we will say that impersonal Brahman is the source of all these. So we all can come together and look for impersonal. And then the spice of nationalism did help. A lot of people, they joined and they came together. So it worked very well at that moment. And the purpose was solved for them. The independence was granted or achieved. And then envy of Krishna. And of course, there were some people who were envious of Krishna. Now, there could be for many different reasons. I mean, again, not pointing finger on anyone else, pointing finger on ourselves, that the whole reason we are here is because we did something wrong. If we think about it, there are those people. So there are, again, we can think and discuss from two perspectives. One, from Dvait perspective, that there is a spiritual world somewhere, right? If we read the scriptures, we followed Goloka chart. It says that 75% of the 75% of thing, yeah, 75% of the world. No, sorry, it's like 1/3. So 63% of the world, 63. 66% of the world is there in spiritual world, right? And 33 here on material world. Which, well, we were there in spiritual world. We want to go back to the spiritual world, but we are still stuck here, which means something is wrong with us, right? It's like we are in a jail. Now, people are in jail. We could be pious people, but we must have done something wrong. That's the reason we are here. So if we think of Dvaita perspective, so we don't need to point finger on anybody else, because we ourselves are bad. Because we did something wrong, hence we are here suffering. Nobody else could be the reason of my suffering. Nobody could be the source of my suffering. Yes, somebody could become a means, a medium for my suffering, but the source has to be my previous karma. If you understand, like a postman. Postman comes and gives us a ticket. Well, here we go, you're speeding fine. Or here we go, you won the lottery. What we will do with the postman? Nothing. We are not going to, well, some people might hug the postman if we won the million worth of the lottery. But do you think anybody will start beating the postman because the postman delivered, or you owe this much, so a fine you did it, or maybe some debt or so? No, postman is just delivering. So the people who appear to give us suffering, they appear to give us suffering, but they are not. They're just delivering it. It's our past karma. We drove the vehicle, the car, or whatever it was, on high speed. Hence, we got the ticket. And Krishna is so merciful. Krishna didn't stop the car then and there. The fine came way later, and we had the time to gain money, so we could pay for that, which means we had the time to do pious activities, so we could strengthen ourselves. When the results of our bad karma will come back, we could able to sustain it. And this is what devotees say and pray to Krishna. Not that Krishna take away my suffering, Krishna give me the strength to bear that suffering. Why? Because we know the suffering got to be there. Not that, please Krishna, please don't give me that challan. Well, I did something wrong, I deserve it. And if not now, I will always be. Does it happen? Well, it happened to me once. I was coming from Bhaktivedanta Manor, and it was after Mangla Aarti, and we were getting late for something, and I was driving. And there were devotees at the back, and I needed to take devotees somewhere. And we were late, so I was driving a bit fast. I turned, and as soon as I turned left, there was a camera and got the picture. It was winter time, it was all dark, so it was a bright light. There was no one around, and the picture was taken. What can we do? However, interesting enough, I don't remember receiving that ever. I never received it. But I have that in my mind. I might receive it. Of course, it's been many years now. But at that time, whenever the post was coming out, oh, this must be it. Oh, this must be it. Oh, this must be it. So think of it. When we do bad things happen, or we are always in that anxiety. Hence, if the suffering will come, we suffer it. The fine will come, we pay for it. No anxiety. Therefore, devotees know very well and we will do law of karma. We will do another session of law and karma to understand it better. That if we have done bad karma, the result will come for sure, right? If the result will come, then we got to be ready for it rather than try to postpone it. If we can postpone it, that's possible. We can pray to Krishna, oh, give us later, give us later. Oh, it will be. But devotees won't postpone. Devotees say, give me the strength so I could bear that suffering. So it's over. And then I will move further in my spiritual progress. Right? Not that I will be anxious, oh, when the result of that could come. No. Please, Krishna. So that way, what I will say, we all at some point were envious of Krishna. Hence, we are here in material world, right? So, and if you think of Advaita perspective, that we don't think there is a spiritual world, everything is here, it's Advaita, it's only one. Even then we think we are not enlightened, which means something is wrong. If we are not enlightened, and we are supposed to be enlightened, and there are other people who got enlightened before us, there are people in getting enlightened now, but we are not enlightened. Even then, if we think something is wrong, which means our consciousness is not pure. However, we say consciousness is always pure, but it's overshadowed by illusion, and that there are some conflicts in impersonalism, which we can discuss. But enviness of Krishna, rather than we say that in others, of course, there were other people who got into it. But all this put together, we got new modern Mayavadi. Many people become Mayavadis. So, and they give the reference of Upanishads, which is true, the grains are there. But socially, they do social service, which you got from Christianity, nationalism, because of that. As I say, the spices been added. Oh, we should do that, and people come together, which is good. But remember, there was a purpose for all those things, and the purpose has been resolved. And we should remember there is one absolute, which is Krishna. And hence we are doing the Shri Īśopaniṣad. So, okay, 2 minutes left. This is the last slide in Chaitanya Charan Prabhuji's presentation. And basically the disaster caused by Mayavadis. And only two things he mentioned: deprives the soul from his natural taste of bhakti. So think of it that, of course, if you are impersonalist, you're not praying, you're not doing devotional service, you don't get that taste. If you have ever taken part in devotional service, you would know what that means. Or not even devotional service, any charity. When we do anything selflessly, like it could be considered as devotion, but if you go to the Gurudwara and just serve people without expecting anything in return, it's so beautiful. So in impersonalism, we are deprived, we lose that, we don't get it. And then make material life appear more attractive than a spiritual life. This is a fall down. The whole purpose of any kind of spirituality is, any religion is, to understand that this is not the place for us. We need to move away from here. But if we will say that this is the world and we need to do this and that and try to maintain it better, then it's bad. It's pretty bad. So we have loosely discussed this, and I don't like condemning things, so we will move away from it. From next time, we will start this, which is there are two presentations merged together. This is from Radheshyam Prabhuji and this is from ISKCON Desire Tree. And we will do these two in combination, hand in hand. In past, we have done Chaitanya Charan Prabhuji, then Radheshyam Prabhuji, and then ISKCON Desire Tree. But by the time we reach ISKCON Desire Tree's presentations, we run out of time, or because we have already discussed everything. So this time, a different approach, we will try to do these together. And I'm going to include the kids as well. So Arun and Shivani will be here. And Arun been here, but we didn't reach to the point. So these slides, I will request him to read or her to read. And of course, we can read all together. So there will be a bit of participation going on rather than me speaking all the time. And of course, we had some issues joining today. So from next week, next Saturday, if we able to join on time, which will be great. And we shall start from here. And then we will summarize mantra 12 coming from these two separate presentations, and hopefully we'll learn more things. But as always, think of it, read this, and try to implement the knowledge we have learned from Vedic culture, and come back and let us know. We will discuss it more next Saturday, 9:30. And I look forward to have everyone's blessings there. With that, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev Maharaj ki jai, jai jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you so much for everyone's presence. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
कृपा सिंधु च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो
Jai Jai Shri Ram. Hare Krishna. Vasana Rati Mataji is here. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम
Mataji. How are you doing, Mataji? Is everything okay?
यस बढ़िया ओके प्रभु जी
Very nice.
आपने पहचाना
माताजी, अगर आप और थोड़ा सा बताएं तो हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं.
आपकी आध्यात्मिक सिस्टर हूँ मैं